come back to life. I want to just invite the whole cast to stand up. Lazarus and Jesus, Mary and Martha, doubting Thomas, the mourners, thank you. And it wasn't through a screen. It wasn't a single voice up front like you're hearing now. It was words made flesh. It was made incarnate. And maybe that's something about what John's talking about in his gospel. The Word made flesh. Something changes when we live it, when we embody, incarnate. And maybe that's what Jesus did with his beloved Hebrew scriptures. He became more and more the Word made flesh. Or maybe he always was the Word made flesh. It's kind of a mystery. What about that moment when AJ rose up, bound, slowly rising up and moving? Have you ever had such an experience or loved someone who seemed as if they were coming back? We thought they were dead, and they come back. Some of us have been very, very ill in our lives, and we know what it's like to come back from those places. What it costs to come back. We know it. The older we get, the more we know it. And today, we also know it, just like Ezekiel knew it, just like John knew it, just like the psalmist knew it, like Jesus knew it. We know it in the world we live in. So as I mentioned, today is the equinox, this time of balance between light and darkness in this ever-changing planetary system, solar system we're living in. The axis of the earth has turned, and from here the light increases. The Ohlone people, whose land we stand on, were vitally aware of this ever-changing reality. They understood how the seasons seemed to come alive. They noticed, they saw it. Spring, maybe not so much as much warmer weather, but the earth itself becoming alive, the greening of the earth in the springtime. The spring was keeping its promise. But on this equinox, many of us, myself included, find ourselves a bit now and then in that valley with Ezekiel. Very many bones, very dry. Families separated at the border. People deported to countries they don't even know. Institutions built over generations, leveled, destroyed within weeks. And I hear the question, and maybe you do too. Mortal, can these dry bones live? And like Ezekiel, wise enough to have stopped pretending, I can only say, oh Lord, you know. You know. Not I, you know. So I want to lift up, right before the Readers Theater, Edward and Rob played William Billings' When Jesus Wept. And I want to say that weeping is one of the most significant pieces of today's reading from John. I would say maybe even more important than the raising. Jesus wept. And Martha comes to him and says, she's not performing, she says, Lord, if you had been there, he wouldn't have died. She's telling the truth. if you had been there. And then the text tells us that Jesus wells up with this anger. In the Greek, it's his gut is twisted with grief and anger. It's incarnate, physical. And then the shortest phrase in the gospel, Jesus wept. I think not because he lost faith. I think because he genuinely loved his friend. He loved this family. They were part of him. His body ached with the loss. And so this Word made flesh that is, the pervasive intelligence in the universe, the physics of the planetary system, including this planet Earth, rotating around the sun, stops time to weep for his beloved, to weep at his tomb. Martha and Mary don't receive an explanation. What they receive is his presence with them, God with us, Emmanuel. And in that presence, he weeps. This is the God we worship, the one who loves, the one whose heart is breaking. The God with us. And so the rest of you who weren't part of this Reader's Theater were witnesses like a crowd. But we know the story so well. Can you imagine if you didn't? What would you be thinking? If you didn't know how it was going to end? Jesus wouldn't be able to accomplish it. Like, what, he's dead. Yeah, Mary says it's going to stink. It's been 4 days. Martha's so practical, It's like, I don't think we want to do that. And it's legitimate. Or doubting Thomas saying, why don't we all go and die? It's dangerous, man. What are you thinking of coming back to Judea? They want to kill you. So maybe it wasn't so much about a performance, a miracle, a magic trick so that we'll believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Maybe it's something else. What did you feel? Jesus, okay, the Word made flesh, could have just stone move. Why did he say, move the stone? Yes, yeah, you're part of this. This is about us. The Word made flesh in you. Move the stone. Why do you think? For the same reason. Jesus could have just whisked off those with one word, all of the materials, the fabrics, everything that was binding up Lazarus. But he says, you, unbind him, let him go free. Maybe the miracle is also the Word made flesh in us, incarnate in our lives, the ordinary little miracles. And just like the man born blind, remember last week when people put dirt in Carolyn's eyes? This Jesus last week, this gritty again. Here we are. Last week it was, there's Jesus getting in the dirt, touching this man who might have not been touched in decades. And then this week, here's Jesus going to a tomb, and saying, move the stone and take him out and unbind him. What? Get close. Touch. Be with. Think of the ones who are so abandoned, who are virtually dead, who are living in a tomb of fear, of deportation, living in a prison, oftentimes minor felony convictions. It's because they don't have bail, because they are poor, because they're people of color. We know the system. We know who ends up in prison and who doesn't. There's all kinds of tombs. The prison of addictions, the prison of mental illnesses. All of these ways in which compassion and love, weeping, all of it needed. Jesus wept. Think of the tombs that many in power want to remain sealed, because if they're unsealed, it's going to stink. You know any of those? Name some. What if we open up those Epstein files? What if we open up the truth about the lobbying power in this country? What if we name the invisible ones who are being cut from Medicaid? Name some others, come on. This is participatory. The cuts to teachers, cuts to programs for children. The environment.
Wars for oil.
Wars for oil. That oil profits matter more than people. The money.
Santa Barbara Coast,
Well,
they're going to be drilling on the Santa Barbara Coast again.
it's
And it's a company that Exxon gave the loan to the bank.
Yeah, there's so many examples of dismantling the EPA, right? And then who pays? The cost of the air pollution, the asthma, all of the toxins. It's the poorest communities of color, not only in this country but in the world.
What if we empower them? This is all I think we'd be able to do with anyone.
Yeah, there's a bigger system, isn't there? Who makes the decisions? Who's invisible? Back to the tombs again, that powerful image. I mean, let Lazarus come to life in so many different ways. Who doesn't have a voice? Who's rendered invisible or dead?
The lies about AI.
The lies about AI. Surveillance. We get to see you. Our history. The lot, right. I mean, it's just, there's more and more.
Bias, even against seniors.
Yeah, there's so much. Okay, and we can talk about more after the service. Unbind him. Move the stone. Roll away the stone. Let him go. The resurrection is not complete without the community, without the participation of the community. The community finishes it. This week, some of us are going to go to the No King's Day March for something that's not dead, that the powerful wish was. That is unbinding work. So is calling your senator, bringing food to a neighbor, especially one too afraid of ICE. So is staying in your seat when it's easier to leave. Howard Thurman said the beloved community is not gathered to admire the miracle from a safe distance. It is gathered to do the work of unbinding, to be close enough to the tomb to smell what someone's been through, and say with their hands, "Here I am, let me help you." That is what this gathering is for. Come back. We all know someone who's come back. We all know and love others who haven't. But we try, and we weep, and we love, and we touch. come back to the earth, to each other, come back to this present moment, which is the only place that we truly are. Amen.